a date night, we gon' have a date night. It's a date night, we gon' have a date night.
Hello, everybody. We're on.
We are on. It is Wednesday again.
God, it goes by so fast.
I know. Actually, I'm almost grateful for this night because I then know what day of the week it is.
I know.
Otherwise, they all just seem to pass so quickly. So.
You look beautiful, babe.
Thank you. And you look quite
I'm glad
handsome.
you told me to put this jacket on. I had a different choice of jacket, and she said we would clash, and now we don't clash.
No, we coordinate.
We look like we belong together.
Yes.
Like we're supposed to be together.
Like this is what happens after all these years.
No, I mean you need a woman that will tell you when you're, messing up a little bit. The jacket was dope, but it wouldn't have looked as. You'll see in the comments how dope we look. I bet you. The other jacket was like a tangerine. It would have been what, two?
I think it may have been in competition a little with the shirt because the shirt's pattern is so bold that I think it may have been a little.
Write that word down,
aggressive.
guys. Competition.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in competition. All right, let's see who's saying hello to us. I am Benny Suave. Okay, what up, Benny Suave? Noah Ochi's in the building.
Hi, Noah.
With her talented children.
Yes, incredible.
Veronica's
golfers.
here. Yes. Who else is here? Let me just take a gander. Gwendolyn Watson, Donna Torrance. What up? What up?
Hey.
Listen, you guys, we're gonna
Hi,
have.
Don.
We're gonna have our first single person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because date night isn't only about married people. Single people go on dates too.
Yeah.
Probably more dates than us.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes. Probably.
Not us, because we be out.
No, and I think it's an interesting perspective, and it's also reflective of the people that we have in our lives, like
Right.
the friends that we have, the relationships that we have, and talk about that.
Who else?
Yeah.
Unique Pro Training is in the building.
Ooh.
El Chrissy says hello.
Hello.
What up, Farrah Franklin? You think we cute? Why, thank you. Tasha George, Simple Thing. Irie Dame, Edwin. Sports Car Lady.
Ooh, sports
My
car
boy
lady. I
Kevin
like that.
Dunnigan. Inglewood in the building.
Mississippi's in the house. Meridian, Mississippi.
Who's in Mississippi?
Sally
Gully.
Like,
Warm Brownie. That's somebody's.
oh, that is
My girl
Marion.
Lisette. What up, Lisette? Greetings from Jamaica.
Ah,
That's Irie Deeb. What up, Gomez? Donnie Dawn is always here. Donnie Dawn loves us.
she's amazing. Sounds great.
Guy Garner. Josh look great. I think he meant to put you guys. That's a typo. What up, Sid? It's my boy Sid. Very funny comedian. He drives for, is it the Metro now? It used to be RTD when I was a kid, Metro. And he's the opener at the Savoy.
Oh,
Yeah, so he actually opens the show for us. So Sid, what up? Always a pleasure seeing or hearing from you. Thank God Chris didn't wear a tie. It was killing him last week. No, it wasn't.
that is
I looked fantastic. Oh, let's see who said that.
Bruce Fine. We see Bruce Fine in the house.
Fine is always here. Uh-oh, our guest is calling already. Hold on, baby. You have some stuff to say before we bring her on?
I do. Just hang in there. Special guest of the evening. We're just warming up and making sure we've got
Warming up.
everybody.
What is up with the AC?
I know.
You talk to them for a second. Let me fix this for us, babe.
It's
Oh,
like-
you made this like a real crew. We got tape on the wires.
Listen, when you've been in production as long as we've been in production, you start to pick up tips, and because you never know what hat you have to wear on a set, especially when you're working on some videos that had quite the shoestring budget. Yeah, you learn. You definitely learn real fast. Hi, Tuff. Good thing D's not spinning right now, because I know where you'd be. I have to come snatch your ass right out the club, Tuffy. So I'm glad you're here. But yeah, we're checking the AC, making sure it's cranked up, because I had to get my husband some new lighting, so he was lit right. But yeah, we're about ready to start the show. We're so thrilled to have everybody back. We're thrilled it's Wednesday, as quickly as they come. And as soon as he sits down, we'll get into it.
Did we pay the bill?
I don't know.
It says the AC is on, but it says temporary hold.
maybe because it's been running all day.
It's been running all day. Okay.
We'll have the kids bring us one of the things. It's just
I
cute.
feel like you can't see my cuteness. There we go. More of my cuteness.
Okay.
All right, did you tell them anything fantastic?
I think we're ready to
Already?
start the show. I think we should get into it. It's 5 after. I see our guest is already in the queue to want to join us. And
We have my son today as producer. Hello, son.
no, we're not ready to.
You just said you were ready. He was ready.
I said we're ready to start the show. So let's. As I always start the show with a bit of introduction to what's been going on in the week and a catch up. I think we are barreling down into what will be quite a very interesting Mother's Day weekend.
Right.
So I want to sit in gratitude a little bit. I want to sit in gratitude for Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was Break the Shame and Break the Silence and talk about mental health. And I think that's a really important topic. Kind of ties in a little bit to some of the feedback that we got last week from last week's show, and how surprised so many people were to see 2 men be so vulnerable, and how great it was that they were able to really talk and share their feelings. And while neither one has an issue with mental health, it's just, to see so many people be surprised, it lets me know that might not be a conversation that's happening so often, and might be something that people are afraid to do, is to cry. So as we sit in quarantine, please make sure you're checking on your family, checking on your friends, and sometimes it's hey, we don't have to talk very much about anything, but I want to back. Is everybody there?
Something paused. It was like a freeze. Oh, you know what? We're supposed to go to cellular, right? Poppy.
Yeah.
Send out some hearts if you can hear us.
Put us on cellular.
Send out.
Faison. What up, sir? Somebody said that was amazing. Okay, hearts are coming.
Okay,
Good,
so
good,
hearts
good.
are coming so you can hear us. Thank you.
Faison Love, one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Why is Faison Love talking? Faison and Bruce Fein are talking. Talk to us.
Hysterical. So, mentioning Mental Health Awareness Month, I want to move into Foster Care Awareness Month. May is National Foster Care Awareness, and I had posted something last week that I was part of a fundraiser for the Felix organization, which is an organization that deals directly with children in foster care. We send them to camp every summer, and we follow them throughout the year to make sure that we're taking them to enrich their lives in the arts and in music and in sports. So we had a big fundraiser last week, and we're quite successful. And our guest tonight, our very special guest tonight, has her own foundation in the same space. So we will talk to her about that. And lastly, I want to lead into the mothers. I mentioned that we're headed into Mother's Day weekend. And I would like to thank my mother for being such an incredible influence in my life and teaching me really how to be a good mom and to be a good woman and wife. And I want to thank my mother-in-law for raising such an incredible husband, or man that is now my husband and father to my children. I want to thank my grandmothers and my husband's grandmother, who is 100 years old. She'll be 101 in November, which is incredible. My aunts, my girlfriends, and to anybody out there who's raising a child, be it one they birthed, one that they chose to love, one that they're fostering to hope give them a better life, and anybody who just shows love unconditionally and acts in somebody's life as a mother figure. Wishing you a very, very happy Mother's Day, and stay strong and keep raising good children and good people to bring into this world to send out love and light. And now, my call to action, right? I always have a call to action. And this ties into Mother's Day. There's a mother this week that is going to have her first Mother's Day without her child who was gunned down in an incredibly violent way. A child who went out to exercise in the midst of quarantine and was stalked down by a father and son dynamic duo who was, for all intents and purposes, like another George Zimmerman. I would like to say, in honor of Ahmaud Aubrey's mother to everybody. I'm going to post on our page after this number. I want everybody to call the Glynn County Police Department and ask and put some pressure on them to open an investigation in the murder of an innocent man who was just out jogging. So if you've got a pen, I want everybody to call 770-800-0689. That is the Glynn County Police Department. It's the department in charge of this area in Atlanta, Georgia, or I shouldn't say Atlanta, but outside Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. And put some pressure on them. Make them open an investigation into what was clearly a murder of an innocent man. So as we head into Mother's Day, let's keep her in our prayers. Let's celebrate all of our mothers. Send us pictures as to how you're celebrating your mom.
Absolutely, that'd be a great idea. And also, what are you wearing tonight?
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
I like when we get the pictures. And what are you
tonight?
eating tonight on date night? And I want to thank my mother for doing an incredible job with me and my sister. I want to thank your mother for bringing you to me, and to all of our friends who are mothers. It's too many names to name, but the Sallys, the Dawns, the Nicoles, the Donnies, the Julies, another Nicole, my sister Kim, our sister Grace.
Yep.
We'll be. I'll tell all you mothers,
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day, because we fall on a Wednesday. We should do we might do a Mother's Day show.
Maybe we'll just jump in and do a Mother's Day show just for the fun of it. So
And also, you're talking about mental health. In the second hour at the end, Dr. Ross Flowers might call in.
Oh, okay.
And we can have a conversation with him and,
Great.
have some questions fed to him and talk to him about mental health. Are we glitchy? I feel like sometimes I turn and it goes.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
But as we get ready, and my husband gets ready to introduce our very special guest this evening, just keep in mind that any questions you have, go ahead and put them in the questions box, which is question mark located right next to the comment section.
Right.
Submit your questions, and we will answer them as we go through the show. And here we introduce our guest.
I want to see her.
Hey!
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
What's that in your hand?
My hair.
Oh, no. The flowers. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Aren't they pretty?
These things here.
Those little things.
Pretty.
These.
So pretty. Hi, Tiffany Haddish. My little sister, ladies and gentlemen. Tiffany Haddish.
Hey, how you doing, Chris Spencer? What up, Vanessa?
What's up, sis? How are you?
You're
so excited.
You're our first single person.
Oh, okay.
We've only had couples. You're the first one. How do you feel?
Well, I feel honored and privileged to be here, especially on this special time of the month, Foster Care Awareness Month, which I know lots about. And also know a lot about mental health awareness.
Wait, hold on. Let me give you a full proper introduction because my wife wrote this so neatly. She's the author of a bestseller called Black Unicorn.
The last Black Unicorn.
The last Black Unicorn. That's the author face too. Do that author face again? Good. She got an Emmy for hosting Saturday Night Live.
Yes, the first female, right?
She has 2 comedy specials. The last one entitled Black Mitzvah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit. And she's everyone's imaginary best friend from Girls Trip, the creator of the best tagline in comedy, She Ready, your favorite Eritrean Jew, Tiffany Haddish. Is that noise from your people?
Yeah, that's from my people. That's from the east side of Africa.
The east side of Africa.
The east side of Africa, baby. We be like,
now pronounce it properly for me. I've said Eritrea. Say it.
Eritrea.
Eritrea.
Yeah, Eritrea.
Eritrea. Right.
Like a trade, but Eritrea.
Eritrea. Okay. And you went recently.
Yeah, I went, was it June or July of last year for independence. They have, this country's only 28 years old. They had to fight for their independence for like 30 years, and then they finally got it. And they have this parade. It's like celebration parade. And so I was like, I don't know what you call that, the head honcho in the parade, but that's what I was.
Oh, you were the oh God.
Not the
Master of ceremonies.
No, there's something.
No.
Like
Mistress of ceremonies.
No, there's like a special title for people who are heading the parade.
Not is it maitre d'?
No, it'll come to me.
It starts with an M.
It
Not
does.
the mascot.
No. You've been a mascot, though.
I've been a mascot. The
No, I know what you're talking about.
Grand Marshal.
Grand Marshal.
There it is. Yeah.
Somebody said the Grand Master.
No, not. Did somebody say Grand Master? You said.
Somebody here said I was the Grand Master of the parade.
Yeah, no, that's Grand Master. We don't want to be the Grand Master.
No, I don't want to be the Grand
Master. And don't want to be the Grand Wizard either.
No, the Grand. No.
It might be too loud.
Be the Grand Tiffany Haddish. That's what I want to be.
Exactly.
You can tell y'all got kids because y'all keep on looking off to the side.
No, they're producing the show, and so for some reason our air has gone out. That feels so good. So my son.
Are you making them fan you now?
That's too not too loud. Yeah. He brought a fan, and that feels. Can you feel it? That's good. Yeah. Is my hair blowing?
Yeah.
In the wind.
In the wind.
Okay, good.
In the wind.
All right, continue, babe. I'm sorry.
I don't know what I was saying. I was just saying, I was the Grand Marshal of the parade. Yeah, last year in Eritrea, and it was beautiful.
So how did you? I mean, I know how you found your father years ago, and who was instrumental in helping that happen, and what? No. I mean, no. You know, we don't have to go. Right. I don't mean that part. But.
You should read that part in the book. You can read about it in that book.
No. I did read that. I did read that part in the book. And really, like, once you found him, were you able to tie the relationship together and heal like that time and distance that had?
Yeah. Well, it was like that was like a part of my soul, another piece, like a piece to the puzzle being put back. And I think he was afraid that I would be like, F you, Dad, for not being there for me. Kiss my ass. Like, which I thought about doing, you know, as a teenager. Like, if I ever meet my dad, I'm gonna kick him in the balls. Like, why'd you leave me?
Right.
You know? And then as I got older, I realized my mom crazy as hell. She wasn't the easiest person to deal with currently because of her mental condition. But if she's like this now, what was she like before? She probably wasn't easy then either.
Right.
So, I started to be more rational and with my understanding of relationships. I just realized maybe he's scared. I feel like a lot of times men aren't fathers because they're afraid of failing. So
right.
I'd rather not even try.
What had she told you about him?
She told me my daddy was ugly. Lie. She told me that my daddy was like no good, that she had to teach him how to do everything. That's a lie. My dad spoke when he was alive. He spoke 8 languages.
Wow.
Like, he's highly intelligent. She made me think he was stupid. You know, he's dumb. What he done, it really, when I think back about it now, I'm like, she was just one of those girlfriends that's like, dang, I had the baby thinking that would keep him, and it didn't keep him. So he ain't he dumb. And now I know she was saying he dumb because he didn't stay with her. That's what that was.
Right.
He's not a dumb person. He's just dumb to you because he didn't stay with you.
Right. That's interesting.
A lot of the things she would say, like, it was just really a reflection of the dynamic of their relationship and how bitter she was. And she used to put it on me. But she used to tell me like, oh yeah, he Jewish, but he ain't no good Jew. He not, you know, like.
So you always knew that you were Jewish, or at least
she said it. My grandma would say it, you know, but it's like you take what they say with a grain of salt, because they also said I was Indian, that we got Blackfoot Navajo Indian in our family. We Blackfoot Navajo Indian. And then, you know, I do my DNA, my 23andMe. I don't have no Indian in my blood whatsoever. Okay? And then I thought maybe she not my real mama. Maybe I got the wrong mom.
No, y'all look too much alike.
Yeah, no, you.
Man. So then I had her do a test too, and then it didn't say she had any Native American whatsoever. And I was like, Mama, where does Blackfoot Navajo, the Native American? Where is it at? And She was like,
That's-
this test must be wrong. This is wrong. They did it wrong. I was like, you
We need to do 24andMe, the new one. They need to update this.
I'm Indian.
Right. No, the joke would be, Mom, the joke is, Mama, we ain't no Navajos. We just some regular LA hoes.
We just regular LA hoes, Mom. We just regular LA.
We just some regular LA hoes. Put this up.
Oh my God.
We just regular LA hoes, Mom.
Sorry, we can talk like that.
Too much.
So how you been quarantining?
Yeah.
This is week what, 8?
Yeah.
I don't know what week it is, but I'm gonna tell you, I've been losing weight during the quarantine because I've been working out. And
Yeah, I saw you in that onesie on Red Table Talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was very cute. Very cute.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on my look. I was able to clean out. Okay, so I have this one room that's like a guest room, right? But it was full of mail because I haven't been home. So all these gifts and all this mail. So it took me 2 weeks to go through all of that stuff, right? Cleaned it all out. And then I was able to get my treadmill and build my treadmill. So I got a treadmill left. So I said,
You built it?
start using it.
You built it?
Yeah. It's not hard to put a treadmill together, bro.
I don't.
Yeah, he's trying to put together an order track bike as we speak. Well, not as we speak, but today he was trying to put together an order track bike.
Why you say try like that?
No. Like
I'm putting together an order
putting
track
it
bike.
together.
Yes.
Like he's in the middle of putting it together.
When did you start? Like maybe 30 minutes before this started? Because
Literally, no. Right before I had to come to you to deliver you your beautiful flowers and your
wine.
Your wine.
And your whispering angel.
yes.
You're my angel.
and your beautiful food platter
Charcuterie.
My crudité.
from
Yes.
Lady and
I
Lauder.
put a candle on it.
Lady
Oh,
Blotter.
that-
They're watching, as a
that
matter of fact.
beautiful.
The people that are big fans of yours.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're right there on Sawtell and
Sawtell.
Venice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you ever need anything like
Accoutrements.
it's a great little like novelty cheese shop and charcuterie, like deli, like salted meats and cured meats. Really yummy.
But y'all been to my functions. When have I ever had accoutrements?
Just in case you have, like an in-house date and you decide you want to just
Well, I
do
definitely
something.
don't want my date eating no cheese, because if he's spending the night, I don't want
Well, maybe it's the first date guy,
Right.
and he's not spending the night.
Well, if he's the first date guy, he's definitely not gonna be in my house.
See, there you go. Oh,
That is true too.
makes sense.
Yes, he better be taking you out. That is true.
You better be taking me to a crudité facility.
That is true.
Le crudité.
that is true.
Not coming in my house on the first. I gotta figure out how crazy he is. I don't have enough relationships to know men are mentally ill. This is why it's important to talk about mental awareness month, because there's some men out here, you need to go on at least 10 dates with them to figure out where their mind at.
Give me a story.
Good actor.
I'm sure you have one. Give me a story of a date, a guy you're like, oh my God, aesthetically he's cool, he's funny, and then something happened weird around date 2 or date 3.
So,
I knew she had something.
okay. So, I was talking to this police officer, right? And this
That
is
always
back
killed
in,
me. The date police officer.
that was my thing. The police could get it. And, I mean, that's just good to have on the team, period. Have one of those. It's just good to have. So anyways, this was a while back. This was probably like, this is like 2005, 2006. And I was dating this police officer. We was talking on the phone. We went on our first date. It was bomb. Like, he was so beautiful, right? He's like that sexy skin tone, muscular. And this is when tight shirts was kind of popular. So he had one of them kind of tight shirts that was a little bit sheer, so you could see his nipples a little bit, which I liked it. Okay.
Whatever. I'm laughing because it was like Andrew Cuomo had that like polo shirt on one day and the picture went viral.
Sheer. Did this police also? Did he also have an R&B album?
No, he did not have an R&B album. But we went to like this really nice restaurant off the water, and he smelled so good, and like all his conversation, he was so funny to me, and he did do a lot of the talking. But it was okay because I was mesmerized. Like his teeth, everything about him. I'm like, if I got pregnant by him, I would not trip down the stairs. Like I would probably you know, I would not, even if after having unprotected sex with him, I would just not even drink just in case I was pregnant, just in case. That's how I was thinking, right?
Right.
So then he takes me home. He's like a perfect gentleman, walks me to the door. He doesn't try to kiss me or anything. He gives me like a really good hug, and he goes, I hope I see you again this week. And I said, you can see me. She ready, right? So then he calls me he calls me the next day, and like we set up something to go out like 3 days later, right? So I'm like, this is gonna be so cool. So we go to this like I always wonder, was it like he was taking me on, like maybe he was taking me on dates so he could do like a sting, like he could be watching somebody, you know, working the case maybe. I don't know, because he's always looking around. But we went to this like carnival or whatever in the neighborhood, and it was like super fun. I felt like I was in a movie.
Just like a local carnival?
Yeah, like a local carnival, you know, like the little pop-ups
right.
and where they sell Christmas trees at. And, he was doing a lot of talking then too. And then I told him I wanted one of them hot dogs wrapped in bacon. And this is when I was like, I don't know if this gonna work out. And he commits to telling me about how bad it is to eat hot dogs and how bad it is to eat bacon and stuff. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. I'm in my 20s, my body banging. I'll be fine. Like, I'll be fine. And just give me one of these $1.50 hot dogs. I'm not asking for like a gourmet meal like we had before. I'm just asking for a damn hot dog, right? So he gave me the hot dog, whatever, and he started looking at me crazy. But I wasn't tripping. I fucked that hot dog up. I was like, so I know.
Right, you weren't even trying to be ladylike?
No, I was like, I know he's looking at me like she got a throat on her. She got a throat on her. So we go back to his place. He takes me to his house. And I'm like, wow, this is like, it was so a really nice house, to the point where I was like, if he want to do something, I'm gonna be with it. I'm gonna be with it. And he said, we was in the living room and the TV was on, and he goes, I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be right back. And then he came back with the police belt on and the dun-dun-duns and nothing else. Oh. And yeah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't comfortable with that. And then he was like trying to like be on me, and then I wasn't with it, because he didn't look right. You don't look right with like the dun-dun-duns and the gun.
Yeah, he probably looked like one of the village people.
Yeah, he didn't look right. It didn't look right. And then he got like an attitude because I wasn't like trying to kiss on him and stuff. I'm like, dang, first you're supposed to kiss me with your clothes on.
Right, then, right. Like that's usually
then you come out with no clothes on. Like, and then I think he got mad that I was laughing. And then when he pulled the gun out the holster and like put it on the table, I was like, yeah, it's time for me to go. It was time for me to leave. Yeah, it was time for me to leave. And I left.
That's a weirdo.
A weirdo. I met another dude at a gas station.
Wait, how'd you get home? But how'd you get home that night?
Oh, I just called a cab.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't live that far away, but no, I went out and met this guy this one time at this gas station. Fine. I'm telling you, super fine. Like, damn, daddy, you fine as hell fine. Like, he could have been any kind of model in a movie, fine, right? And I had my dog in the car with me. This one I had the Geo Metro, right? And he was like, oh, man, you too pretty to have a car like this. You should have a better car. Oh, and your dog is beautiful. Your dog is so beautiful. Y'all should come hang out with me. So I get his number. And he's like, yeah, you and your dog come hang out with me. So I was like, can I bring my cousin with me? He's like, yeah. So I go meet him. Like the next day, me and my cousin go and meet up with him.
A girl cousin or a guy cousin?
Girl cousin. Mm-hmm. We go meet up with him. But he told me, make sure you bring your dog. Don't come over here without your dog. Why did we go over there and he invited us into his bedroom? We shouldn't have went in there, but we did. We went into the man's bedroom and he had Bible scriptures taped all over the walls and red lights coming up out the corners and chains and stuff all on the beds, like chains and whips and handcuffs. And then the dog ran up to him and he started tongue kissing the dog. He was tongue kissing my dog, and me and my cousin was like, bitch, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. And it took us an hour and a half because he was holding on to the dog so tough. And I was like trying to figure out how to get him to give me my dog back.
Right. Or really trying to figure out, how much do I love this dog in this moment?
Right. But he was definitely, I think he wanted to fuck my dog because they was like.
What? I'm going to stereotype for a second. Was he white?
You're asking the question I've been thinking.
No, he was not white. Well, he was mixed. He
had to be mixed.
Yeah. That was the white side tapping him on the shoulder.
Yeah, he was mixed, and he didn't know his black half.
Yeah.
Okay. He was tongue kissing that dog. We was like, and my cousin, she got him as hell. She was like, "This motherfucker nasty. He nasty. He nasty." And he was like, "I am nasty." Like he thought it was freaky. Like, yeah.
So what did he expect to happen after that?
I don't know if he thought he was finna have a foursome with me, my cousin, and the dog and him, but yeah, we rolled out. I don't know what's gonna happen. And
that's going into the next special.
He got to answer his calls.
That's going into the next special.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, and that there should be like a whole special just on dating, on what that is, like dating then. And dating now,
right?
Because dating now,
I have several questions that like fall within that space of what was it like then and what is it like now?
Okay.
How different are they? Okay, first I do have to ask you: did you start watching Don't Fuck with Cats?
Girl, started it and finished it that night.
Yes.
Did we not tell you will not be able to watch only one episode?
Ooh, I was like, what the hell?
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody gotta watch. If you're watching now, go watch Don't Fuck with Cats after this, because I'm telling you.
Like, how were they not the crazy? Like, I know you're a research junkie. I know you love researching and YouTube and all of that. But like, they were bananas. Their research skills were like, holy shit.
I mean, studying, observing everything. I'm like, I need them for a case I got. I need them for a case I got. I was like, I think I'm gonna go online and hit up this group and see if I can get them on a case I got. Now it don't involve animals, but I feel like they could be a great detective.
Yeah, they were incredible.
When they saw the traffic light, I'm not gonna say no more.
Oh,
but when they saw the traffic light and we're like, oh my God, I'm researching this. I was like,
don't give it away.
That shit was wild. That was wild. Yeah, it was a good follow-up to Abducted in Plain Sight, right?
Yeah.
Because that one was wild too.
That was hella wild. That right there, that was Abducted in Plain Sight. That's the stuff that make you say, this some white people shit right here.
Yeah, it was
Yeah. Not even mixed people could do that.
No, that was like reserved specifically for
the whites.
Yeah. Because I mean, I know some people might clutch their pearls or feel a little way like when we say that, but just culturally, there's just some shit that like we'd never do.
Yeah, and there's things we do that they don't do.
Right.
That's just
what it is.
That's just your people.
Yeah.
To all our white people watching, that's some shit y'all do.
Yeah, and some shit like we do. That's just them.
Yeah.
Okay, you know. Okay. So let me see. What else have you been watching in quarantine?
I've been watching Heist, Money Heist.
Uh-huh.
I just started watching Hollywood. That's really good.
Wait, is that the new Ryan Murphy thing?
Yeah.
Is that the new? Oh, I got it.
Yeah, back in the 20s. Is it 20s, 30s, 40s, something like that?
Yeah, like the 30s.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
It's good. It's good.
It's Queen Latifah,
right?
That's why I married you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw Queen Latifah's in it.
Yes, it's good.
And I love her and everything she does.
Yeah, she kills it. She kills it. It's good. I really enjoy that. What else I watch? I watched Queen Sono.
Yes.
Yeah, which I like.
Loiso, the young guy, Loiso. I did this thing. We did like a comedy without borders, and I had like a Zoom. I know you love Zooms conference with 3 other African comedians, and it was absolutely incredible.
Wow.
And Black Thought was there. And Tina Ferris moderated it. It was dope.
Through a Zoom.
A Zoom.
Wow.
They want you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you in touch with them. They would love to have you for the next one.
That's gonna go in your regular email box, though.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Now, does that pay?
I know. That's why I'm saying.
It's an interview. Let the people of Africa meet Tiffany. Those are your people.
They know me over there.
That's what I'm saying. So you need to be in this whole thing.
Like everybody, look, I'm tripping off of, no one has ever asked me to talk at a graduation before, okay? No one's ever asked me to do a commencement speech or anything, nothing like that ever before, okay? Now, all of a sudden, we in coronavirus, everybody's like, can you do a commencement speech? Can you do this? Can you do a video for my daughter's graduation? Can you do a video for this graduation? Like, and I'm like, how many, if I say yes to everybody, that would be, I would be doing like 40 videos a day. And I'm like, hold up. Where was y'all at when nobody ever invited me? You ain't never invited me to a graduation. I've never spoke at a graduation. I've been in many graduations. First of all, I can't do no college graduations because I didn't graduate from college. I didn't even go to college. That's messed up right there. Then I did graduate from high school and middle school. But what I'm gonna say to these kids, it's hard out here, y'all. Like, but I never spoke at a graduation. I don't know why people think I'm gonna do it now.
So you're gonna say no, or you think you might be selective? Will you be selective?
That's how much they pay.
They don't pay. They ain't even trying to give me a diploma.
Yeah, it's like in kindness, you know, and in kind.
But they not trying to give. They want you. Do you know how many times you mess up doing a little video? You do it over and over. Then you're like, man, my eyebrow, man, let me fix it. Like then 45 minutes to 3 hours done went by. You trying to make a video? Then he'd be like, man, forget this. I ain't doing this.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to have to ask the video, but I just want people to stop asking me to do it because I'm gonna go no.
What has been the wildest request that you've gotten in this time of quarantine of something that somebody wants you to do?
Well, I've been asked to have babies. Babies. Yeah.
Say that again?
By dudes I've never even seen naked before.
Oh, is this through the Bumble thing? Through your Bumble ambassadorship?
This is just through like people I know that are just like out of nowhere, like, hey, can we have a baby? You know, we don't know I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. Like, I'm like, what?
But through the Bumble?
I don't even know what your thing look like. No, what?
Wait, are they DMing you?
Yeah, like,
are they Facebooking? Calling you? Your agent? Your manager?
No.
How do they have your number?
Dudes that I've known for a long time.
Oh, got you.
But I've never been intimate with them. Never. They're just like a friend, an associate, somebody I just know. And, we just know each other. But that's it. Like nothing. Never kissed, nothing.
I'm sorry, babe.
No, go.
I hope there's no comedians.
No comedians. No.
Oh, because your big brother was about to be you're going to need to send me their information.
No, but comedians been asking me for money, though.
Yeah, a lot of comedians are going through it. What'd you say?
Somebody asking for something every day.
No, I mean, a lot of these guys are going through it. I mean, we're fortunate, you with, the acting and the producing and me with the writing. As comedians, we're kind of okay. You know what I mean? I'm during this quarantine, I have projects and stuff to work on. But the people who are weekly in the clubs, on cruise ships, theaters, like, they're struggling. Even the itty bitty money we get at the clubs around locally can sometimes sustain a little bit. And so for all the clubs to be closed, it's rough. And I see a lot of guys out there, doing things online, and they're posting their Cash Apps and Venmo. And, I've supported some of them, and I feel like, it's rough for them. It's rough.
Yeah, I seen some start a fans only page. I almost wanted to go see what was up, and then I realized I don't want to see him naked.
Wait, did you say make it or naked?
I said I don't want to see him naked.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you said naked. I'm like, fans only. Wait, what's he?
Yeah.
Fans only. You know what fans only is, right?
No.
Oh.
No, what's that?
So it's basically like where
we're old, Tiffany.
Do stuff that they couldn't do on their Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And it could be adult content.
Oh.
Oh, and then they can charge.
And I don't want to see like a Lavelle Crawford doing a fans only page is what I'm saying. Even though he's not doing that. I'm just using him as an example. I don't want to call. I would rather call out somebody I want to,
right.
I respect and that I think is popping in comedy, as opposed to call out somebody y'all never heard of before that.
Oh, okay.
Y'all wouldn't understand that.
Okay. It was for the comedian.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, because I was gonna DM him right now on this other phone and say, what's how much you need? But I already know Lavelle is doing exceptionally well.
Don't be out here showing your titties on the.
He's not big anymore.
Is he not?
No, Lavelle probably weigh about 195.
You're lying.
Shut up.
Yes, he looks incredible.
You better pull up a picture right
I
now.
gotta go follow him.
Lavelle
Wow.
Crawford is killing it.
I would have
He
never
looks
known.
fantastic. Hold on a second.
Oh wow. I had no idea. No idea, but good for him.
Yeah, and on the
Watch
fans
this.
only, people have to subscribe to you every month. So, like, if you charge like $1, some people charge $10 a month, and you get, you get a nice following. But you can do whatever you want on there. But a lot of people showing
Yeah, he lost 120 pounds. Hold on a second.
Wow, that's
Man,
incredible.
he lost a whole person. Let me see.
Yeah, he lost a whole person.
Hold on a second. Here's a better picture.
He lost almost 2 people, to be honest.
Wow.
Oh, I'm trying to get a better picture.
Well, even that one, just in the face, you could just see the face. Like, look at that.
Somebody said, you want to see him now, huh? Yeah. Now I want to go to his fans only page. Wow.
That's
Right?
incredible. Good, Lavelle, if you're watching, good for you.
But he's
That's
still wearing the
incredible.
big clothes. Lavelle, you can't fit these clothes no more.
One thing at a time. Just one
Right.
thing
Yeah.
at a time. Like, he's
love
getting
Lavelle.
used to
Does
this
he
new
sound-
body.
He looks great.
Does his voice sound the same still? I wonder.
No,
Oh.
it sounds different.
Does it really?
Yes. All the syrup is out. He's my friend.
He's my friend too. Hey,
Yeah.
and Lavelle will clown the hell out of you.
Whoa. Did you see when him and I'm about to call him Mr. Brown.
Ooh.
I just talked about the phone yesterday. Oh my God.
They were going
They
out.
were at Steve at the Hoodie Awards.
What happened?
Oh God. I should be embarrassed. You guys talk. Act like it's a commercial.
Is that, Al Simic moment where you see it, you hear it, but it just, this and this are not connected?
Do not
Yeah,
get
yeah,
old.
you have
ladies
the
and
brain
gentlemen.
fart. That's the
It's
brain
there,
fart.
but yeah. Okay. So, talking about you said you were the gardening. So you
David Mann.
Yeah, I'm like, they're saying it in the thing. David Mann.
David Mann. God. David Mann, forgive me. Listen, that's been. I gotta stop eating something because it's messing with my memory.
You need some ginkgo.
More
Yeah,
carrots.
You need some ginkgo, some ginseng.
Yes,
Something.
ginkgo. That's sitting on the counter, by the way.
Him and David Mann, they went at it at the Steve Harvey Hoodie Awards, and it's online.
Mm.
Everything, nothing was off the table.
Nothing was off the table, and David Mann can go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, question. As a comedian, do you think anything is off the table? Like anything is off limits?
You can talk about anything, but that don't mean you won't get your ass beat.
True.
Right.
True.
So it's like, how brave are you?
Right.
Right.
You know, and if you're talking about it, it better be funny.
Right.
Depending on
And I
what it
think not only be funny, but I think the intention behind it can't be mean-spirited.
Exactly.
Like, I think that if it comes always from your perspective and from your growth around a feeling of something or what your exposure was as a kid and now where you are at this stage in your life,
Right.
like I think there's a difference behind it than if it was just
Malicious. And
and then not funny.
Right.
Then
Right.
it feels
Like-
different altogether.
Like I love Dave Chappelle and how he was able to talk about those kids and Michael Jackson.
Right.
He's
Right.
talking about molestation basically,
Right.
and how he made it like really funny.
Right. Or even T-Rex, who talks
Yep.
about his mentally challenged cousin,
Yep.
and at first you go, whoa. But when he shares the experience and the story of this guy you can tell he really loves, and that the guy is actually funny himself,
Right.
then we're allowed to laugh with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what the experience was, like being his teammate and partner at the Special Olympics, and like
Yeah.
you see the joy that
Yes. Oh, you
he's
remember the
getting.
joke?
Oh my God, I totally remember the joke. He was like from Chocolate Sundays, he was always like one of my
T-Rex.
favorites because he was
Yes.
always solid, like always
Yeah.
came in.
And
And in
he
a
was he's so
totally black
different.
room, like he would kill it. Like
Yeah.
not at
Oh.
all afraid.
Yeah.
Like he and you just see the joy he had of this experience.
Right.
And I think part of it came from like him worried whether his cousin was having a quality of life or like it being able to have these moments that he got to have, and then to have participated with him in the Special Olympics moment. It was
Right.
like, oh my God, they they have joys. They get to experience highs and kind of these like milestone moments.
Right. Somebody just wrote, DL talks about his autistic son. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just about, you know what it is? Tragedy plus time equals comedy. So everything can be talked about if it's the right amount of time that has gone by, and those other factors that we said, which were, it comes from a place of not just being malicious and going, look at this.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
R word, MF, you know what I mean?
I feel like it's my favorite thing to think always is like the heart talks to the heart. So it doesn't really matter what you say as long as it's coming from the heart and people understand what the underlying thing is. And if the underlying is like from a place of love and whatever, that's what's coming from the heart.
Right.
That's what it is. But some people got an evil, dark, nasty, dirty heart. And I don't like listening to that.
Yeah. No, but listen, I will drink on that because that's facts. Like sometimes somebody it's a black hole in there.
Right.
Yeah, it's
But it's a way to do it. Like Kevin Hart talks about his dad being on crack. I mean, that should be like off limits.
Why
if it wasn't
hilarious.
No, I'm saying if it wasn't funny, you could see how it could go the wrong way where we'd be like, oh, that's messed up. But the fact that it's a great story and to
see where they are now.
Exactly.
You know.
I think crackheads are hilarious. They're
No, crackheads are hilarious, but just to talk about your dad being a crackhead.
But I got aunties that are crackheads. I mean, don't you got a family member that's a crackhead?
Still doing crack? Is crack still available?
My auntie, she dead now. She
Okay.
died.
Like, where are you getting crack now in 2020?
It's so funny.
Well,
we were watching something the other day.
The Atlanta thing?
Yeah, we were watching this thing from the Atlanta thing. This
documentary.
PBS documentary by Ken Burns that I'm doing with the kids as like a supplemental history lesson. And we were talking about the East Meadow housing projects in Atlanta and how like the government in Atlanta like tried to take them down. And anyway, go watch it because it's good. And the kids were like stunned. They were like, crack? Like where they get crack from? And it's just like everybody's doing it. And this one dude was like, I would make $500 in like a half a day. And they were like, oh shit, $500. Wow, how is he making $500? Like, what were they charging and how many people were buying? Because at the start of it, they said that 5,000 people were living there. And the kids were like, so how many of those 5,000 people were doing it? And $500 doesn't sound like a whole lot if 5,000 people, people are living there. So they're trying to do the math, and I had to like break it down and explain to them. And they were like, by the way, is this really still a thing? Like, is crack still a thing?
No, crystal meth has trunk crack, but crack is cheaper than crystal meth. So it's like
crack is still the cheapest drug out there. And how much is crystal meth?
As far as I know, I mean, look, to be honest, I don't know the prices of drugs. But
well, hold on, we got some former drug dealers on here telling us some stuff, or people who used to be on it.
Oh, somebody said I still do crack in South Central.
Hilarious, they're lying.
No, people are doing crack in South Central. I'm telling you, there's a bunch of crack. I'm just going off the way they live, right? Like a crackhead, a crystal meth head, well, crackhead and a crystal meth will rent you their car, right? But they'll rent you their car for like $20 a day.
That's crystal meth.
That's crack. $20 a day, you can get the car for the whole day. Crystal meth, they gonna want $50, $60.
Oh, they'll
now a crackhead will clean your house for $10. But
they're taking everything in it.
No,
but they're going to steal some shit, right?
Okay, that's what she said. Okay.
But a crystal meth head will steal nothing, and they'll charge you $100 to clean your whole house. But your house will be spotless, okay? Because they do a little bit of crystal before they clean it. And you know would normally take your housekeeper 3 to 4 hours to do. We'll take that crystal meth head 30 minutes max.
Now let me ask you something.
That might be an upside.
And this is back to what we were talking earlier about the difference between white and black people. Most meth people are white, correct? Or am I incorrect?
You are. There, it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them.
Are there a lot of black people on meth too, though? Right?
It's yeah, but not as many as white.
Right.
I think it's a geographic thing too. Like I think crystal meth, and I think like Northeast,
Midwest,
like Riverside, Maine, New Hampshire, and
no. It's definitely right on in East LA. In East LA, West Side, they do it over there. Like
the West Side
drugs
sounds
is
right.
everywhere. It's about
the West Side seems right.
drugs is everywhere. It's about who you with. Like, I never seen cocaine in real life till I went to an Armenian party when I was like 22.
Yeah.
You must have been in Glendale. That's what
I
it's
was in the mountains of Glendale. And they had it on the table. I was like, y'all left y'all flour on the table. Y'all need to clean this up. They was like, you don't want to party, bro? You don't want to party? You don't want to party?
Party.
You don't want to party?
Were you scared when you first saw it?
Yeah, I was scared. I thought, like, oh, the police gonna come in at any minute now. I gotta get out of here. Let me call my police officer boyfriend and let him know I'm leaving this party.
Wait, you still had his number?
Yeah, I had this is a different police
Oh,
officer.
this is the new one. Okay.
Okay, my boy LT Hutton is saying we got the information wrong on the subject. Okay, so he's gonna call in later and give us an update on the drugs.
Hey, tell him I'm going off of my street site facts.
Right.
I'm being a little funny. But I will say the first time I saw cocaine at a party, I was blown. No pun intended. No pun intended. I was blown away. I was like,
How old were you?
I was 23, and I was dating this kid who had grown up in going to private schools, boarding schools. He was from the LES, which for anybody who doesn't know is the Lower East Side in New York. So, like, you know, not his thing. But all of his friends that he had gone to school with that had now moved back into the city and were like young professionals, they had come to his apartment with with us after a night at the club. And it was like 7 a.m. and all of a sudden I see all of them on the balcony and they're like cutting lines. And all I could do was go lock myself in the bathroom and call my aunt and be like, Titi, unlock the front door, because I don't have my key and I am headed to your house. And she was like, it's 7 a.m. Why? And I was like, because they're doing lines and I got to get the fuck out of here. And I didn't talk to him for like 2 days. And he was like, why aren't you calling me? What's up? What's going on? And I was like, you know, I don't think this is really going to work. Like, that's just not my thing.
How you having a cocaine omelet?
Yeah, it was so bizarre. Like, you've seen it in movies, you've seen it on TV, and then you're like, I don't know if it was because I felt like such disappointment in him that I'm like, fuck, we're better than this. Like, we were taught not to do this shit. Like, they can do this shit and get away with it, but we can't.
No.
So, yeah, that was like the end of it.
Here's on my thing. I remember when I used to work at the airlines and like my older coworkers, they're like station managers and stuff, and they're like the whitest of white people, would start telling stories about how they would go like on these cocaine binges. And I'm like, why do you look like this? Like, why do you look like kind of normal? You should be like messed up. Why you not missing no teeth? Why you not this? You know, like, because I'm from South Central and people that do drugs, their teeth be gone, their skin have all these pock marks in it and stuff. And the one lady, she goes, well, Tiffany, we have inheritances. We can buy new teeth. We can get facials. Like, it's all about how you take care of yourself. And I was like,
wow,
privilege. That's all I could think. Like, and then I thought, like, and I used to also think, once you do drugs, that's it.
Yep.
You gone.
Right.
That's how that DARE program taught you like that. When you do it once, that's it. That's why I'm waiting until I turn 70. When I turn 70, I'm gonna try all the drugs.
Yeah, I will say that I think the one thing, I didn't really have like this overwhelming curiosity, but 2 things stuck with me. I always remember my mother saying, don't ever do drugs, because the one call that I never want to get is that you've been arrested and I need to come get you for drugs. The second thing is, I don't want to hear you tell me you're pregnant before a certain age. That's the other thing. And then I was watching a movie one time and somebody died from the first time they tried cocaine. It may have been like an after school special. And I was like, you know what? I will never try this shit. I will never be that curious, because it'll be my luck that I die, that I try it. I die. And the one phone call my mother gets is, you got to come identify this body because she's dead. And my mother would leave me there forever. Like I would be buried who knows where, because she's like, I'm not coming to get this bitch. No, she broke all the rules.
Yeah. Oh, girl. I don't know. That's why I'm waiting till 70, because by then I think I'll be ready to go. I feel like that's when my fibromyalgia kick in and shit like that. Like, joints will be hurting.
Don't.
That's
you know what's crazy?
That's when you're supposed to do drugs.
Yeah.
No, what's
when
crazy
your
is
joints is aching and all that. That's when you're supposed to be like, okay, let me go ahead and try this mushroom. I'm stressed out. I mean, you have 70 years of troubles, 70 years of things to think about. That's when you should do mushrooms, I think. And then, hey, oh, my elbow hurt, this hurt. I heard when you do LSD, you don't feel no pain. Well, heroin or something, no pain.
right.
So I figure from December 3rd, every week, I'm going to try one new drug a week. And
when you turn 70.
When I turn 70. And if I live through all that, then I'm supposed to be here. Like,
you know what's going to be messed up? You're going to find out that you loved it and you're going to be like, damn, I should have been did this. Oh, I could have been writing songs and
now
creating
I'm out here trying to do
sculptures.
some of this young dick, but I'm too old. Nobody
Listen, so on this IG Live, every hour it cuts off. So in about 2 minutes, we're gonna cut off. We want everybody to come back, and we definitely want you to come back in, lady.
And we're gonna get back to some like real questions.
Yeah, because
I know that
we can talk for 6 hours without even looking at our list. So we actually have real questions.
Okay.
It's so funny looking at this. I've seen at least 14 different Tiffany Haddishes on here. Tiffany Haddish fan page, Tiffany Haddish jokes. Do you know any of these people?
I got love out there in these streets. There's a whole, unicorn crew. We got Haddish family in the house. It's all Haddishes, They rap.
That's great.
They rap.
All right.
I love it. Like seeing all of that just brings me so much joy because I'm like, I love the way people love on you. And literally, I think so many people out there, I put in there in the intro, like everybody's imaginary best friend, because literally, like one of the comments from the Red Table that I thought was so great was that you really are like that girl in real life. Not wild like that per se, but just you are so real, so honest. And if somebody asks you for advice or asks you a question, in the most loving way, you're going to deliver the most honest answer.
Yeah, I don't even know if you know how to lie.
Yeah, which is a great thing. Which is a great thing. So
I'm not good at lying because
I can tell you would be a horrible poker player.
That's why I don't play poker. That's why I play spades.
Yeah. Did you and Regina ever get the game going?
No, we did not get the game going. You know what? I'm about to, after this, I'm gonna send some messages out because I done found a way to play online and you can video chat at the same time. So talk mess and play, because spades is all about talking the shit talking.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I've been playing with Shaka Zulu and them. He cheat. He even cheat on the computer.
Yeah.
Really?
That's his point.
How can you cheat?
How can you cheat? I think he changes the rule in the middle of the game. I don't know, but he stay winning and it makes me sick.
Well, maybe he's just good.
Or maybe he just underbids.
All right, so listen, we're going to click off. We'll come right back. I want to give a shout out to my big brother, A.B. Butler. It's his birthday tomorrow, May 7th. What is that, Taurus, people?
Yeah, that's Taurus. It's my Auntie
Bob.
Gina's birthday today. Happy birthday, Auntie Gina.
Oh, yeah, I seen her with her little crown on.
Auntie
When I dropped her off, I saw Auntie Gina with a little crown on.
We'll
be right back.
With a crown on.
We need all y'all to come back.
Yep. Okay.
Poppy, do the honors.